brought to you by Eliason Financial. You can voice your opinion by calling 672-KROE. That's 672-5763. Now, your host for Public Pulse, Floyd Whiting.
Good morning and welcome to Public Pulse. Now, on February 24th of this year, Russia invaded Ukraine in a major escalation of the Russo-Ukrainian War. That began in 2014. The invasion caused Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II, with more than 7.7 million Ukrainians fleeing the country, and a third of their population has been displaced. The invasion also caused global food shortages. Now, there have been many organizations, including the U.S. government, that have been funding the Ukrainian people's fight. There have also been some scammers that have organized campaigns to fraud people out of well-intended monies. If you're one of those people who have an apprehension to give because you think your money may not go to the right place, there is an upcoming event organized by people right here in Sheridan that will ensure that your money is going to help the people displaced by this senseless conflict. And with me this morning is the organizer and some others from the event. You're welcome to the show, Bruce Andrews, Doug Andrews, and Gene Davis. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, Bruce, what is this event? Can you tell me a little bit about it?
It's actually a concert. It's something that has been surprising to me at how well it's been received already. I've asked a number of local artists that most everybody has seen on the stage at the WIO at one time or another. And it's an event that is, I think, somewhat unusual in that all of the artists, the venue, the WIO, the graphic artists, the printer, everybody has donated their skills and their time, and so that there is no overhead.
Oh, wow.
For what we're doing.
Now, what inspired you to put all this together?
I got tired of the feeling of helplessness that I just, what can I do to help? And it felt like nothing for a while.
And we seem so far away from the conflict, don't we?
Well, no. I felt pretty close to it. Every time you open at the television and you see everybody bombed out and refugees leaving, and I mean that's tapered somewhat right now. It's not as sexy a news item right now, but it's still there and it will be there for some time. So we can do something. Maybe not everything, but we can do something. And I decided, I'm a singer, and I decided I'm gonna do a concert. And I talked to family and friends, and they said, why not make it a community event? And man, it just blossomed from there.
Then people started coming out of the woodwork to help.
Yeah, all I had to do was ask. I mean, and in an instant, we have Dave Munsick. He changed his schedule to be here. So it's really, Sarah Sample, a lot of these names you'll recognize, J.T. Kraft and his family. You all have heard these people on stage at the WIO. And actually, when I started out, first person I talked to was Erin Butler at the WIO. And I gave her my idea, and she says, the theater's yours, my staff is yours. Tell me what you need. And I'm kind of a novice at this. I haven't done an organization thing like this before. But they made it easy in a lot of ways. It's hard work, and there's a lot of time.
A lot that goes in, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But she said yes right away. My daughter said, hey, and I said, I need to have some printing. I happen to know Nadine and Matt out at Alpha Graphics. And I went and talked to them, and they said, boom, you got the printing, whatever you need. But she said, well, I need to have somebody else do the actual graphics artist stuff. And so my daughter says, well, I have a friend, Melanie Ayers, who has Three Willows graphics, called her. She said, I'm on.
And she jumped on it.
Right on, right on. Everybody I talked to who accepted immediately. And without hesitation, they just said, we're in. Just tell me when and where.
That's amazing.
It is amazing. This is an amazing town.
Yeah.
With amazing people in it. And, there are a lot of needs of a lot of people in this world. But, I'm not a Martin Luther King or Mahatma Gandhi. We're 15,000 people or so in our town, which is about the size of the town you see being blown up in these villages around Kyiv and the bigger places. And when I first started out, jokingly, I said, well, look, about this time there was about 5 million people who were refugees. And I said, well, how about $1 for each one? And people say, well, what's your goal? I said, well, where's your thermometer you're going to track for the goal? I said, well, I don't have a goal. What I want is for everybody in the community to be able to do something, to scratch that itch of what can I do to help?
Mm-hmm.
And so the ticket price is, I think, reasonable. It's not a $500 a dinner plate kind of thing. And I really wanted people to, at all levels of ability to contribute, to be able, I don't care if it's $5, or 5 million. What I want, the thing is that some people, $5 is a lot to give.
Yeah.
And there's other people, foundations or larger organizations, might have a corpus of $1 million or something. But they're being hit all the time to donate. And they have to stay within their guidelines. Some guidelines say, oh, you can only donate in town or in the Sheridan area. Others say whatever it takes. And they can only donate a certain amount themselves depending on what their corpus is. So I think we need to respect that.
Yeah.
So that everybody gives what they can and according to their means and their heart. And I don't care what the thermometer says.
Yeah.
I care that people are able to scratch the itch of what can I do to help, and this will happen.
Get involved.
Yes.
And help our brothers and sisters of democracy of the Ukraine here.
Yep.
That's powerful. That's extremely powerful.
It is. In the process of doing this, I was thinking of going one place to say deliver the funds. Well, I went to the YMCA here in Sheridan, and I sat down with the director and the comptroller and the finance director, and they said, well, why don't you just run it through us? We're a 501(c), tax deductible. We have no overhead. We won't charge you anything for doing this. We'll set up an account, and it'll go, the funds from the theater, the tickets from donors, whatever, all of that will go from us to the YMCA World Service and on into Ukraine or Eastern Bloc countries that are serving refugees. It's already been used. It's a tried and true pathway that's safe and secure and that can be trusted.
And Bruce, the way that you've got this organized, the way that folks have stepped up, as you said, there's no overhead here. Yep. So we're looking at what, almost every dollar going right to where it needs to be?
Well, if I'm to be honest, I would say not every single penny.
Yeah.
There are some things along the way in terms of if you pay with a credit card, there's a percentage that goes to the credit card company. Or at the WILE, you pay their tickets online. The online company takes a percentage, but it's minuscule.
Yeah.
Compared to people in other organizations that may charge 10% of the overhead, boom, they take it right away. But that is the only, 2% or whatever the amount is. So I feel like
I would
it's
say
100%.
that's a heck of a lot closer than other organizations. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I think you've done an amazing job here. Now, Gene, how did you get involved in this?
Well, Bruce and I go way back with theater. with the Civic Theater Guild. He and I used to sell advertising for the program. So when I was in charge of putting the program for the season together, I'd give Bruce about 15 or 20 clients. He'd be back in about 20 minutes, having sold more ads than anybody so quickly. So it was fun working with him. We've done some shows together too.
And you're motivated, Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And the genius of what he did is connecting with the why. Because can you imagine setting up the logistics of taking this money and getting it in the right place in Eastern European countries, which are not always not corrupt.
Right. Yeah.
It ends up in the wrong place.
Yeah, it's the truth of the matter. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of scammers out there now feeding on all these video images of, children being bombed to death and that kind of thing, where people just want to give no matter what, but they're not questioning where the money's really going.
Yeah.
So he's got this well organized.
Yeah.
And he didn't mention he's gone to some major donors that have been very supportive of this.
Who have you gone to?
Well, probably, I don't know if he wants to disclose that, but
I'm going to be putting names of donors in the program.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that so if you want to know that, I don't have any permission to use their name
Right.
here.
Totally get it. Yeah. But they've been extremely generous.
They have been generous.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about a whole bunch of people. I don't want to compare. I don't want to compare
Yeah.
the person that gave $25 to the one that gave 25,000.
Like you said, people are giving what they can.
Exactly.
Yeah. So everyone's
That's
giving
right.
what they.
It's not a competition. It's how can I, as a member of this community, do something to help
Yeah.
and be guaranteed it's going to help.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Now, Doug, you just got in from Vienna.
Yes.
Now, tell me what you'll be doing at the concert.
I will be performing a song as well as being sort of the transition man MC throughout the evening.
So you'll be the one up on stage talking to everybody.
Yes.
And tell folks what you do for a living.
I am a singer-songwriter and have been doing that with a few side gigs
Here
over
and
the last
there.
10 years. Here and there, yeah.
Here and there. All right, when we return, we're going to continue with an evening of caring, a benefit concert for the people of Ukraine. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Shared.
This is Eric Jacobson, partner at Eliason Financial. I think we can all agree that living and working in Sheridan, Wyoming is an absolute privilege. At Eliason Financial, we support our community through volunteerism, philanthropy, and making a positive economic impact. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Girl, you got a bass that just won't quit. Dang.
Would you please stop ogling my bass?
I can't take my eyes off it. Can I have a photo of it?
Who takes pictures of someone else's bass?
No, not for me. It's for the Fisher Bass Off Contest at SheridanMedia.com. Sponsored by Rocky Mountain Discount Sports and Blowdown Lumber. You could win a $500 gift card from each sponsor.
Okay, you can enter photos all summer long until Labor Day, right?
Yep, and then one winner will be drawn and win the gift cards. Hey, could I maybe get a copy of that picture?
Is it time for a career change? McDonald's restaurants in Sheridan and Buffalo are currently looking to fill shift management positions that pay up to $18 per hour, and you can work today and get paid tomorrow. Improve your life with a new career. Benefits include IRA contributions, health insurance, paid vacations, tuition assistance, flexible scheduling, food discounts, and up to $18 per hour. Apply today in person for a shift management career at McDonald's in Sheridan and Buffalo.
The City of Sheridan Weed and Pest Division would like to announce that mosquito fogging will begin starting the week of June 20th and continue through the mosquito breeding season. Fogging will take place Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings when necessary. For more information to report heavy concentrations of mosquitoes or to request that your home be in a no-spray zone, please call the mosquito hotline at 307-655-8297 or visit the website at sheridanwy.gov.
Sheridan County School District 2 is looking for a hard-working, dependable, and positive individual to join the Sheridan High School team as activities custodian. Hours vary but will not exceed 40 hours a week, including weekday and weekend events. Starting wage is $16.40 to $18.50 an hour depending on experience. Benefits include medical, dental, and vision insurance, 10 sick leave days, 12 vacation days, and 19 paid holidays per year. To learn more or to apply, please contact the district office at 307-744-7405, extension 5208.
Life is already so busy. Why make stops at multiple stores when there's one store that has you covered for projects big and small? C&B Sheridan now carries home and gardening products from hoses, grass seeding tools to John Deere lawn tractors and compact tractors. Everything you need to keep your lawn looking great. All in one convenient location. Stop in and check out their expanded inventory and see for yourself why C&B Sheridan, located at 2491 Heartland Drive, is your new one-stop supply shop for all things home and garden.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends over there at Eliason Financial. This morning, I am with Bruce Andrews, the organizer of the event, An Evening of Caring, a benefit concert for the people of Ukraine. And with him is his son, Doug Andrews, and Gene Davis. Now, if you're just joining us on February 24th of this year, Russia invaded the Ukraine in a major escalation of the Russo-Ukrainian war that began in 2014. The invasion has caused Europe's largest refugee crisis since World War II, with more than 7.7 million Ukrainians fleeing the country, and a third of the population being displaced. The upcoming event is intended to raise funds that will help those people fighting for their democracy and those displaced. Now, Bruce, let's jump right into the details. When and where will this concert be held?
This concert will be June 30th at 7 p.m. at the YO Theater Performing Arts Center. Tickets are, I set tickets at $20. I feel like that allows pretty much anybody in the community to afford a ticket. And so there you go, it's $20. The thing is being set up with the Y, we're on their webpage, SheridanYMCA.org. And on that, you can buy a ticket to the show, or you can buy it on the theater website. But there's on the Y, you can buy a ticket, you can make a donation. And you also can see a number of pictures of where the money goes. It shows people in basements doing first aid classes or setting up little kits for kids with crayons and so on. There's about 20 pictures that shows you where the money goes. So I like to say that the tickets really are a donation.
Yeah.
And then there are other foundations and larger donors in that they can afford more. And that's that's very helpful.
Yeah.
But the whole community can be involved. It isn't just one person or whatever.
Yeah, this is Sheridan standing up to
absolutely
help individuals literally across the world, a world away. Mm-hmm. Now, how long will the concert actually go?
It'll be about an hour and a half, maybe two with intermission and so on, but at the most 2 hours. It's designed to be about an hour and a half show, but things run over usually.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's a really good thing, right?
Yeah.
A lot more ends up happening than you think. Now, do you have any say in where the funds go? You yourself, or once you give it to the Y, you put your trust in them?
I've made it a point to keep my hands off the money.
Yeah.
I don't want to be near it.
Yeah.
And they are the experts on that. Their comptroller and their finance director and the director, they already have this set up with Y International or Y World Service. And so, no, I don't, other than going to Ukraine refugees and those needs, I don't have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
And I think that's just fine. I trust them.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Gene, tell us about the Ukraine now. You keep up to date on what's going on over there, and as Bruce pointed out, it's not as sexy as it once was. So we noticed that the big news companies really aren't carrying it as much as they were during the first part of the invasion. I think the biggest news that I actually saw was some actors went over there to try and get some more coverage of the conflict. Do you know what's happening over there?
No, I pick up most of my stuff through Vice. Vice is a good source, and CNN has had excellent coverage. They need some kind of global award for the exposure their journalists have had over there. They've been right in the war zone a lot of the time.
Yeah.
But it looks like the thing's devolved into a repeat of 2014, Eastern Ukraine. There's some separatist Russian-speaking people over there whose sympathies have lined with the Russian mothership for a long time. But mostly it's really allowed Putin to concentrate his forces. And his forces, from the standpoint of personnel and weaponry, outgun the Ukrainians like on a 10-to-1 basis.
Yeah.
So we've got to shove as much material in there as we can afford, and also the NATO members have been really generous as far as the type of war material they've been able to ship in. But some of the stuff is really sophisticated. And there's going to be a lag time until the Ukrainians can utilize this advanced weaponry. Like one guy said, it's like giving me an iPhone 13 to make phone calls with.
Yeah, I don't know how to use this.
Precision artillery is different than it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's precisionally guided.
It's not pull string go bang anymore.
No. You got fins and GPS targeting. They can put it in your back pocket as opposed to within 100 yards. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, my disappointment lately has been the coverage.
Yeah,
there's been the January 6th hearings, the Southern Texas massacre with the school down there. It seems like anything to distract the viewers is on the air now, and the Ukraine situation gets about 2 minutes out of 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's too bad because it's still a serious situation.
Yeah, people are still dying every single day over there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of individuals feel like a kinship because these individuals are fighting from their homes, some literally from their doorstep.
I was just going to bring that up. When you look at these visual images of these little towns that surround places like Kharkiv, Kiev, and Odessa, it reminds me so much of Sheridan. We're about the same latitude, 45 to 50 degrees latitude north. And these people are gardeners. These little towns, they have these 1914 style architecture that you'll see around Sheridan. We have a large Eastern European population here. And so it reminds me an awful lot of all these people that everybody has a garden in their backyard. One of the most tragic things I've seen is they're having to bury people in their garden.
Oh.
Because there's nowhere else to put them. There's no coroner in these little towns. And they got to do something with the body.
Yeah.
And so it goes out in the garden. It tears you up to see those images. So that's one reason I got involved with this thing and became a donor. I think anything we can do to help these people, we should be doing it.
Absolutely. I agree 110% on this. And Doug, how do you feel about the conflict? I mean, you flew all the way over from Vienna. And it's with and for your dad, but you're here in support as well, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, we've spoken on it already, but just that feeling of helplessness and not being able to get your hands on and do something from half a world away. Vienna is basically, it'd be like if the war was going on in Bozeman, Montana. That's how far away my home is there.
Wow.
And so even just coming here to get to the airport, I go through a main train station in Vienna that is still a hub. They're bringing refugees through there. And
you have eyes on this situation.
Yeah. It's obviously not the violence or anything, but you see these families waiting in the train station, of course, most of them without their fathers.
Yeah.
And And now it's been long enough that many people are traveling back through because they've gone to other family and the rest of Europe, but are needing to come back and check in on their families where it's safe.
Yeah, I can only imagine there's probably not a lot of information coming out of the country for someone wondering, where's Dad?
Yeah.
Where's Mom?
Yeah, and that's another thing. I know there's been, for example, my wife and I volunteered immediately when the conflict first started, and they needed help at a stadium that was set up as a welcoming center to sort of just give them a bed, place to stay, and then a lot of cell phones. That's what made me think of it. So they could keep in touch if they could. And that was a way we could help immediately, put our hands on, flipping beds. But after that initial wave, it does fade in the background. People have to get back to their own
regular
work and
life,
keep things going. And
Did Austria take a lot of refugees?
I don't know as compared to other countries,
like Poland,
but, yeah, certainly not as many as Poland, but it served as more of a hub to help get people out to Germany and Poland, and Hungary's been, of course, they're right on the border with Ukraine.
Wow.
It's just a logistical nightmare just to get the help that's willing to be given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people understand how much food that's going to take, how much water that takes in a day.
And the Russians are stealing their food.
Yep. At
They're
every
taking grain
opportunity.
and hauling it out.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I've run out of time. Bruce, one more time. When and where will this concert be held, and how do I get tickets?
Okay. It'll be June 30th at 7 p.m. at the WYO Theater. You can go to the WYO Theater website for tickets. You can go to the SheridanYMCA.org and get tickets and donate beyond the tickets. And I think I want to reiterate, if I may, and quickly tell you the lineup of our...
Yes, yeah, please.
And this is going to be in the program, but Kathy McNichol, Dr. Dave Knutson, and Diane Knutson will be doing the national anthem of Ukraine to open the show. JT and Elizabeth and Javier and James and maybe Gus Kraft will be doing a song. Doug will be doing a song. Sarah Samples next. Then there's Corinne Lemire, Kayla McCreary, and Kira McCreary, who are Crow Native American people who, Corinne's a young woman and the girls are 11 and 6, and they do a Native American healing dance called the Jingle Dress Dance.
Oh, beautiful.
I'll be singing after them, and then Dugan Irby and Rowan Heil will be doing a song, and then intermission. Jenny Reed is doing a song, then Pat Tomsovic, Nancy Phillips, and Melissa Butcher are going to do a trio. Dave Munsick will be after them. Danielle Law will be after Dave. And then the entire cast will do a song called Ukrainian Now, which was just written within the last 2 to 3 months by John McCutcheon and Tom Paxton. And it's perfect closer for this particular show.
Absolutely.
I hope that people can find the time to come to this. And if they can't, they can always donate. The Y will be receiving funds at least through the middle of August. So if you can't make it and want to donate more beyond a ticket, just go to the Y website, SheridanYMCA.org, and you'll be able to do that.
Bruce, thank you. And Gene, thank you for
Thank you
stepping
for
up.
having us up.
And Doug, thank you for making the travels and telling us about your experiences over there.
Absolutely.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, when we come back, we will speak with the food group. This is Public Pulse on 930 KROE at 103.9 FM. Sheridan.
This is Eric Jacobson, partner at Eliason Financial. I think we can all agree that living and working in Sheridan, Wyoming is an absolute privilege. At Eliason Financial, we support our community through volunteerism, philanthropy, and making a positive economic impact. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Parker Mellinger provides business advisory services tailored for you specifically to help your business become compliant, tax efficient, organized, and strategically aligned with your goals. Think of us as part of your team. You will rest more comfortably knowing that you are covering all your financial bases and making an informed decision. Contact us today at Parker Mellinger. Our focus is where you're going, not where you've been.
I'm Michelle Hart from Cody, Wyoming. Last year, my husband Tim was on a wildland fire down in New Mexico, and he was injured parachuting into the fire, and he unfortunately passed away 9 days later. Shortly after he died, I actually went to DC and asked to meet with Liz. We had a very intense and emotional conversation about these issues. Liz was really surprised when I was telling her about the issues of homelessness, pay disparity. She really wanted to do something about that. Those words were followed up with action. I just really enjoyed of getting to work with her and having her supporting Tim's Act in the House and really pushing and putting pressure on legislators to be able to do something to fix these issues that are really critical to the public safety. She's a true fighter on their behalf, and I look forward to continuing to get to work with her until these issues are fully resolved. And I know I have her commitment in doing that.
I'm Liz Cheney, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Liz Cheney for Wyoming.
Are your tires ready for that summer trip? Hi, this is Chris Hayden with Hammer Chevrolet. If you're in the market, come in and let us get you a price. We carry brand names like BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, Continental, Hankook, Firestone, Goodyear, Michelin, Pirelli, Uniroyal, and more. Provide us with a better price at the time of purchase, and we'll match it. Find a better price within 30 days of the purchase, and we'll refund the difference. See us for all the details. You can't beat our tire price match guarantee from Hammer Chevrolet, 107 East Alger.
Hey there, listeners! I'm every over-enthusiastic radio announcer ever. And if you think that's enthusiastic, then you need to check out Best Real Estate because we are enthusiastic about selling properties. So if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell, we are your go-to real estate team. Call us at 675-BEST or visit our website at bestwy.net for all of your real estate needs. Brokered by EXP.
Join folks in the Sheridan area for an Evening of Caring concert to benefit Ukraine Thursday, June 30th at the YO Theater. This concert will feature various local talents with the mission of providing humanitarian relief to the Ukrainian people, whether in Ukraine or wherever they fled to survive. The concert starts at 7 p.m. and tickets are $20 a person. Donations will be filtered through the YMCA World Service. For more information, call 307-752-2710. Sponsored in part by Sheridan Media.
Good morning and welcome back to Public Pulse, brought to you by our friends over there at Eliason Financial. Joining me for the second part of the show this morning is the Executive Director for the Food Group, Carrie McMeans, and Program Director, Jenny Tribley. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, how are things going at the Food Group, Carrie? Everything been clicking along?
Yes. Actually, we are in the process of rolling out summer programs and had our kickoff last week on Monday the 13th for Books in a Bite and our pop-up camp that we host every Wednesday in North Heights Park. And we're still feeding kids every week with our weekly food bags. So we are just moving right along through the summer. We're up to feeding about as many kids as we do during the school year. So we're feeling good about reaching all of the kids that we can this summer.
Carrie, it's been a while since I had you in here, and I got some questions that, some people might look at me later on and say, wow, you asked that. But during the COVID-19 crisis, how did that affect our food group here in Sheridan? How did you guys get by during that? The
way that it affected the food group was, really just trying to figure out how to adapt the systems that we already had in place to get food to kids. And once we figured out that schools were still providing lunches for families and kids through their grab and go lunch program, we were able to piggyback off of them and just continue to serve in the way that we had served before, just adapting, how we were actually getting the food to kids. So we just piggybacked off the schools and made it work. We had to figure it out on the fly. And
like so many organizations in town, kind of the same thing, and Governor Gordon said, we're building the plane as we're flying, and everyone kind of had to just guess and hope for the best, and if it worked, it worked. If not, okay, well, that one didn't work, it's time to switch over. Is the food group being affected by any of these shortages or supply lines interruptions throughout the nation?
We are. We've been affected for the past several months. Some months we will get one shipment of food, and then the next month we'll get everything that we ordered the month before. We're seeing that we may not be able to get crackers. And then all of a sudden, saltine crackers come in, and we just try to buy as many as possible while we're still sharing with the community. So, we are experiencing food chain supply issues, and we're just doing our best. We're being innovative and creative and working closely with our food purveyors to just meet our needs every day.
And when you speak with those individuals, do they let you know, hey, we just don't have any saltines? What can I send you in its place or anything like that? I mean, are they making you aware that something isn't going to show up?
Yes. So Elizabeth Moore, our other program director, is in charge of ordering all of the food for all of our programs, and she works closely with our food purveyors. Right now we work with Ridley's Family Market and the managers on their team, and so they're good about communicating to us, hey, we're trying to order these things in stock. We can't get them this week and next week, but we might see them in 3 weeks, and how do we adjust, make adjustments, order different things. And so they communicate closely with us and help us adjust our menus.
So when we have programs like the one that's going on in the park, the food that you provide, is there like a certain guideline that you try to follow or have to follow, and then you find yourself, well, I'm not going to have this, so I'm going to have to substitute with that?
Yes and no, and Jenny might be able to answer that a little bit better than I can, as she's in charge of purchasing all of that food. So I'll let her take this question.
Have you found yourself having to do that, Jenny?
Yeah, it's one thing Carrie talks a lot about is that we are a nimble team. And so she's given us the latitude to make those decisions to accommodate and meet the needs of the kids. And so, yes, we are constantly thinking, okay, we don't have this right now. We'll adjust and add grapes or apples or whatever it is. The thing that we try to do for our Book and a Bite that we do every day at the library is really try to provide a lunch that the kids want to eat and that is a nutritional of nutritional value. So because our kids are range in age from we're feeding 1 to 2 year olds up to about 12 or 13 year olds. So that's vast.
Any parent out there knows.
Yeah.
Oh, the finicky acts of children, right? Especially when it comes to the food.
Yeah.
So I imagine that is a big challenge.
It is. It's a great challenge to have, and our numbers are up. The most we've had was the first day of 51 kids, and then yesterday it was 45 kids. So, it's a great problem to have.
Yes.
Trying to feed as many kids as you can.
51 kids on the first day.
Yeah.
And now word of mouth is going to go out. And so I imagine you'll probably break that record again.
That'd be awesome.
It would. It absolutely would.
Yeah, we scramble, run back to the YMCA, and
we'll pick up what you need. Yeah.
Yeah, and the cook over there, Trish, helps us. We quickly make the number of lunches that we need, and run them back to the park or the library so the kids can get fed. And the other person that is really instrumental is Zola, the children's librarian. She does a really nice job of welcoming the kids and the families. And it's a wonderful half hour of the day.
So tell me about Booking a Bite. If I want to take part in that with my kids, what do I need to know?
So just come to the library. We do the program outside underneath the big, beautiful tree. At 11 o'clock, it's 11 to 11:30. The kids eat at first, and Zola starts reading books. And she's really does a nice job.
You get story time.
Yep.
You get a meal. I mean, and some shade under a tree. There's not much better than that, right?
I know. Yeah.
That's literally like a picturesque summer day.
Yeah. And the cool thing too that I've noticed is that the parents, and it's moms and dads that come with their kids, and it's a moment. I've seen kids sitting on their parents' laps, and it's a gentle, tender time to spend with your kids. It really is. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, that's something that I didn't touch on, is that bonding moment that can actually happen between a child and their parent during story time, of all things,
And grandparents. There's grandparents that are coming as well.
It's so powerful. Now, Carrie, real quick, explain to the listeners, if they don't know what the food group does on a daily basis, what is it that you guys do down there?
The food group's mission is seeking to alleviate childhood hunger in Sheridan County, Wyoming, by providing nourishment to children. So our major goal is providing weekly food, and how we started was through our flagship program called the Weekend Food Bag, and that was weekend food, providing weekend food for kids that may be eating free and reduced meals at school, breakfast and lunch, and do they have enough to eat on the weekend? And so we started to fill that gap, but with the Weekend Food Bag. And then since then, it's evolved. How do we take care of kids when they age up into junior high and to high school? How do we meet them where they're at? How do we address the way that they need to take care of themselves? So we now have teen pantries in all of the schools in districts 1, 2, and 3. We also have little free pantries throughout the community. We have 18 of those, currently 16 in Sheridan and 2 in the Tongue River Valley. And those are open and free to all kids. And really how we decided to make that a part of our program is kids need to have access to food when school is not in session. And that's during the holidays and over the summer months. And so the little free pantries are used heavily. Some of them we fill 2 to 3 times a week. And when I say we, I mean our volunteers. And then we also offer a home delivery program. Transportation is a barrier. That was something that was born from COVID, and we have folded that into our formal programming, and our board of directors through our strategic plan decided that we should formalize that. So we now offer once a month a home delivery of fresh meat and fresh local produce. And so just again, as Jenny talked about, how do we get nutritious food into the hands of kids and families? And so we're working really hard to do that as well. So there's several different ways that we feed kids. And again, like I said, it's trying to meet them where they're at and make it accessible and easy, because there are a lot of barriers that make getting food difficult. So
in this day and age, here we are in 2020. And that statement still needs to be said, and it breaks my heart. Now, I want to talk to you about your partnership with the YMCA, but before I get to that, and I've got about 4 minutes left, just really quick, how do you come up with all these great ideas? Do you guys have like brainstorming sessions? Do you sit around a table and go, okay, tell me what you think. Tell me what your idea is. Is that what happens?
Well, I'll start, and then I'll let Jenny fill in the gaps. But we have a great team, so I have to brag a little bit on our team. We have Jenny Tribley and Elizabeth Moore, and we've had an AmeriCorps Vista, Garrett Key, who's been just amazing this year, a great addition. And then we have some summer staff, Ariana Roth and Hannah Sullivan. So, so sometimes, and then of course I can't forget the board of directors. So yes, absolutely. There's times that our minds are constantly going, and we have just awesome volunteers. We have 75 to 100 people that help us every week, and they offer up ideas too. So we, as Jenny said, we're a nimble team. We find ideas that we think might work. We try them out. If they don't work, we're moving on to the next idea. But we also have amazing community partners. Like you said, the YMCA, Liz Cassidy, she's absolutely fantastic in her background. So we are not afraid to partner with people that we can skill share with and create new innovative ways to serve.
Now, I've got about 2 minutes. Tell me about is it called Party in the Park?
I like that.
It could be.
Yeah, there is a party component in terms of the great energy that Liz Cassidy provides and the kids provide. We provide them with a snack initially. It's every Wednesday at 4:30 at North Heights Park. And
It's a summer pop-up camp.
Yeah.
The summer pop-up camp.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's going to be party in the park in my opinion. And the kids come. Liz does great activities with the kids. And then everybody just heads back home for dinner, hopefully.
So they get that camp experience. They get a good, nutritious meal. Now, has someone stepped up? Are dilly bars still being provided, to your knowledge?
There's rumor that dilly bars are being provided at the summer pop-up camp.
Yes.
Might be a dilly bar out there.
Might be a
there we
dilly
go.
bar.
There might be a dilly bar at the end of that meal. All right, ladies, I want to thank you so much for coming in and talking with me today. I greatly appreciate everything that you do to ensure that our children are fed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Floyd.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Public Pulse on 930 KROE and 103.9 FM. Sheridan.
Hi, this is Bill Handel, and you're listening to News Talk 930 KROE.
KROE, Sheridan.
This is Eric Jacobson, partner at Eliason Financial. I think we can all agree that living and working in Sheridan, Wyoming is an absolute privilege. At Eliason Financial, we support our community through volunteerism, philanthropy, and making a positive economic impact. To learn more about who we are and what our wealth management advisors can do for you, visit Eliason Financial online or call 307-672-3010. Securities offered through Royal Alliance Associates, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Harriet Hageman is a Wyoming fighter. Harriet has spent over 2 decades successfully defending Wyoming farmers, ranchers, and small business owners against federal government overreach. When the EPA came after a farmer, threatening him with over $60 million in fines, Harriet fought for him and beat back the bureaucrats in D.C. Harriet battled the USDA, the Forest Service, and the Fish and Wildlife Service when the East Coast know-it-alls thought they knew better than we do. Harriet Hageman even filed one of the first lawsuits against government vaccine mandates. It's time we send someone to D.C. who will fight the radical Biden-Pelosi agenda and not bow down to it.
I'm Harriet Hageman, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message. Paid for by Hageman for Wyoming.
Disaster can strike and it's never convenient. Captain Clean is always on standby 24/7 to respond. From sewage backups to unexpected water inside your home, we can help. From fire and smoke damage to the unsightly mold found growing on your wall, our experts are here to help you from start to finish. Call Captain Clean today for your free consult. Captain Clean, 672-0726. Affordable solutions for healthy living.
We clean more for you. We're Captain Clean.
Opening a new business can be stressful.